Hello.
Hello AOS fans!
It's the Agents of Sigmar.
And in this video we're asking, should longboarding be banned?
It's not an inflammatory question at all to ask the Underworld's community.
I'm hoping that it is divisive because I want lots of people to click on this video.
Yeah. So don't forget to click the like button and click that subscribe button and let us know in the comments below what your immediate knee-jerk reactions to that question before we give you our tuppenny.
So this has come about because we ran a tournament at the weekend and there was some longboarding going on, and I heard some people complaining about that longboarding wasn't really playing the game fairly.
Yeah, I think there's a fair point to be made that if you are playing a game of Underworlds, 90% of your games in general are going to be fairly straight on, maybe offset. But when you come up against a longboard, that can really ruin your day.
Yeah, but I 100% think that longboarding should be allowed in the game.
So why do you think that is?
Well, I think longboarding allows couple of very specific styles of play to shine a little bit. The most obvious one, I suppose, is objective play. Quite often when you play with the Sepulchral Guard, you want to be able to control those objectives and you want to keep people particularly away from your warden for as long as possible. So it's quite a reasonable thing to do to longboard somebody. And objective play, I would say, through most of the history of the game has needed a little bit of support because it's very hard to hold objectives if somebody just keeps killing your fighters. It becomes impossible. So I think that's a legitimate reason to have it. The probably least catered for collection of players in Underworlds in this entire history of the game is control players. It's I remember John Bracken saying it's really hard to make control decks, and it's really hard to. I think it is really hard to play control. I have a lot of respect for people who can devise a control deck and not only that, actually keep to it and play it. And longboarding is part of that. Now, it can get too oppressive. We have had times, particularly during the Stormcast Eternal Relic days, it was a really long time ago, when that was too controlling. But I don't think it's too oppressive.
Now, I played somebody who, at the weekend, didn't get a chance to longboard me, and it didn't matter. His deck was so good at doing what it needed to do, I couldn't stop him doing it. And if he'd have longboarded me, I would have lost by a much larger margin because I was going for a more aggro warband and I didn't have the manoeuvrability in that warband to be able to get across the board quickly.
Yeah, but is that his problem or yours?
Well, that is a question because a lot of people, when they build their decks, they're going to assume, like a lot of people, that they're going to come up against aggro warbands because a lot of them are aggro. But the minute you get that control or that objective-based warband, you suddenly realise you don't have a lot of the tricks in the box that you need to be able to counter that.
Well, you know what Assume did, don't you? It can lead to a negative play experience, and nobody likes to just have to sit and watch while your opponent just shuffles their cards and
just draw stuff and then puts things out and then tells you why you've lost.
But I don't really think that happens that much. I mean, we don't play at the top level, but I don't think it happens that much even at the top level. There might be people who could do it, but I think if you're playing at the top level, then you have a plan to deal with that because that's kind of part of the game. It's in the rules and it's part of the game. And I think it would be detrimental to objective and control play to not have that as an option, because it means aggro would just be able to play with impunity. Like Break Next Door is a classic example. It's got a few things in there that enable you to get to the fighter very fast. You can get +2 move almost immediately, and it will help you get that. But the problem is you have a negative effect. Now, if you don't have the problem of longboarding, you don't even have to worry about doing that. So you can take all the good Break Next Door cards without worrying about taking any of the negative effects of them at all. And so I think that although I might not like to play into it, it makes aggro players think a little bit harder about what they put in. It means that they maybe have to put in a +1 move or a +2 move card rather than another I've got a special face-in card.
Yeah, I mean, I've played longboard several times. I am a serial longboarder myself. I've done it and I'm not proud of it, but I have. But I can also say, and I'm not sure that this is really a suitable boast or not, but I've also lost against players when I've longboarded. So I've got my board choice, but I've still lost. It does take a good deck to beat you, but you can be beaten. Harry
brought that Armies deck. I mean, Armies are particularly fast, so they're particularly suited to unpicking a longboard, but he built a deck that could deal with it. Didn't matter whether you longboarded, shortboarded, halfway boarded. He was going to smash your face in.
Now, one of the arguments of it's in the rules, so you just need to get used to it. I mean, people could argue that that's the whole point. They don't think it should be in the rules because it's very hard to build a deck that is good both at up close and personal and longboarded setups, and maybe they've got a point there.
I suppose really what I'm saying is it's in the the rules because it enables other play styles to
Yep.
even get a look in.
Yes.
I think control play, well, you said he beat you, but I think control play would barely get a look in without Longboard.
Yeah, I do think that overall you have that risk there that you're always going to potentially have that longboard come up. And remember that Underworld's quite often, when it was originally designed as well, was designed as a best of 3 type game. So if your opponent does get to longboard during that first game, usually that means you've got a second game coming up where you win that roll off and you're going to be able to put them straight on, and now you get to play on your own terms.
So what do you guys think? That's our very short thoughts on longboards. Are you persuaded? I still think that longboarding should be, as the game stands at the moment, longboarding should be allowed.
Well, I'm a massive hypocrite because I longboard people all the time, but I hate playing into it. So I say yes, it should stay for that very reason.
There you go.
So let us know in the comments below what you think, and don't forget to click that like button.
And click that subscribe button.
And we'll see you soon, maybe in the Underworld.
Or maybe longboarding.
Ooh.